Please hear me today, because this might save your life, or at the very least, save your peace of mind. There's a profound spiritual truth unfolding right now, a reality about the very individual who sought to control and diminish you. You need to understand this. They can't run. The person who manipulated, deceived, and hurt you is now utterly trapped in a catastrophic situation of their own making. This isn't just theory. It's a divine consequence, a disaster they meticulously designed for themselves, and they are now caught in its inescapable grip. Their own actions have become the very chains that bind them, demonstrating a truth as old as time. What you sow, you will indeed reap. The narcissist, in their relentless pursuit of control and validation, meticulously wove an intricate web of deceit. Every lie they told, every manipulation they enacted, every person they exploited was a thread added to this complex structure. They believed this web was for ensnaring others, for controlling outcomes, and for ensuring their dominance. They saw themselves as the cunning spider positioned at the center, effortlessly orchestrating the lives of those around them. Yet, a fundamental spiritual truth dictates that such a construct, built on falsehood and designed for harm, will inevitably turn upon its architect. The Bible tells us in Psalm chapter 9 verse 15, "The nations have sunk in the pit that they made. In the net that they hid, their own foot has been caught. The very net they spun for others, the very pit they dug, is now the inescapable trap in which their own feet are caught." The narcissist is now truly trapped in their own web. This entrapment is not a coincidence. It is a direct consequence of their deceitful actions. The very nature of their manipulation required them to juggle multiple narratives, to keep track of a myriad of lies, and to maintain different personas for different audiences. This intricate deception, while seemingly effective for a time, creates an inherent instability. As their facade begins to crumble, as their lies are exposed, the threads of their web begin to tighten around them, revealing the profound instability of their self-created reality. They find themselves ensnared by their own cunning, unable to move freely without bumping into the contradictions and falsehoods they themselves created. The nature of their trap is particularly insidious because it is self-inflicted. They are not held captive by an external enemy, but by the very patterns of behavior they chose to adopt. This manifests as a paralyzing paranoia. Having lived a life of deceit, they project their own dishonesty onto everyone around them. They cannot trust anyone, for they know, perhaps subconsciously, the depths of their own duplicity. This constant suspicion creates an internal prison where every interaction is viewed through a lens of potential betrayal. Their own lies begin to tangle them, creating a convoluted reality where truth is elusive even to themselves. This internal chaos is the primary mechanism of their entrapment, a relentless torment that denies them any true peace or clarity. Witnessing this, you might observe their desperate attempts to escape or to shift blame. They will frantically try to spin new lies, to find new scapegoats, or to launch fresh smear campaigns to deflect attention from their own unfolding disaster. However, each frantic effort only serves to tighten the web around them. Every new lie adds another layer of complexity to their already unsustainable narrative, making it harder to maintain. Every attempt to blame others only further exposes their lack of accountability and their inherent deceit, alienating potential allies. Their desperate thrashing against the confines of their self-made prison only binds them more securely within its unforgiving grip. Proverbs chapter 26 verse 27 states, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever rolls a stone will have it rolled back on him. Their frantic efforts to escape are akin to digging deeper pits, only guaranteeing their further entrapment. This is divine justice at its most precise and unwavering. It's not a vengeful act orchestrated by you or any human. It's the natural spiritual law of cause and effect in perfect operation. God, in His infinite wisdom, has established principles that ensure righteousness will ultimately prevail and that wickedness, though it may flourish for a season, will eventually consume itself. The narcissist's entire existence was an affront to truth, integrity, and genuine connection. Now they are facing the inevitable consequences of those choices, trapped by the very devices they created. As the Bible tells us in Psalm chapter 7 verse 15, He makes a pit, digging it out, and falls into the hole that He has made. Their current predicament is a direct result of the holes they dug for others. Your liberation, your freedom from their influence, stands in stark contrast to their entrapment. While they are bound by their own darkness and deceit, you are walking in ever-increasing light and truth. Your peace, your healing, and your journey towards authenticity are the very forces that highlight their bondage. You are no longer part of their web, and your absence only allows the strands to tighten around them further. This is not about your direct action, but about the profound spiritual truth that when you step out of a manipulative dynamic, the manipulator is left with the full, unmitigated consequences of their own choices, now definitively trapped in their own web. As the narcissist finds themselves inextricably trapped in their own web, the true magnitude of their predicament becomes chillingly clear. This is the disaster they designed. The unfolding consequences, the mounting chaos in their lives, are not random acts of misfortune or unfair circumstances. They are the precise, undeniable, and direct results of their own choices, their consistent patterns of deceit, and the malevolent seeds they meticulously sowed into the lives of others. What they meticulously cultivated for the destruction of others now blossoms into their own personal catastrophe. For years, perhaps decades, the narcissist operated with a profound sense of entitlement, believing they were exempt from the universal laws of cause and effect. They felt they could manipulate, exploit, and discard others without ever truly facing accountability. Every lie told, every betrayal enacted, every emotional wound inflicted was a brick in the foundation of this disaster. They were not merely making poor choices. They were actively designing a future of emptiness and chaos for themselves, unknowingly building the very prison in which they now find themselves trapped. As the Bible tells us in Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that will he also reap." The harvest they are now experiencing is the bitter fruit of their own unrighteous sowing. The elements of this self-designed disaster are multifaceted and deeply painful for the narcissist. Their relationships, built on a foundation of lies and manipulation, are crumbling around them. What once seemed like adoration from new supply or blind loyalty from flying monkeys now devolves into skepticism, disillusionment, and eventual abandonment. People, once charmed, begin to see through the facade, tired of the emotional drain and the perpetual drama. This loss of reliable supply is a catastrophic blow to their fragile ego, intensifying their desperate hunger for validation and making them even more erratic. The carefully cultivated reputation, their public image of success or virtue, begins to fray. Truth's piercing light, which we will explore further, exposes their inconsistencies, leading to social ostracization, professional setbacks, and a significant loss of respect from those they once impressed. Furthermore, the disaster extends into tangible aspects of their life. Financial instability can become a stark reality as their self-serving choices lead to poor investments, legal troubles arising from past deceptions, or the simple inability to maintain steady employment due to their toxic interpersonal patterns. Their focus on external validation and grandiosity often blinds them to practical responsibilities, leading to a financial house of cards that inevitably collapses. Perhaps most profoundly, their physical and mental health suffers immensely. The constant stress of maintaining their lies, the pervasive anxiety of potential exposure, and the corrosive effect of unacknowledged rage and bitterness take a severe toll. Their silent screams intensify, manifesting as chronic health issues, panic attacks, or even complete mental and emotional breakdowns. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 30 reminds us, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." Their envy, their ceaseless inner turmoil, is literally rotting away their peace and vitality. This unfolding catastrophe is not some twist of fate or random bad luck. It is a direct, karmic consequence, a meticulously orchestrated act of divine justice. Every act of cruelty, every manipulation, every shred of integrity they sacrificed, has contributed directly to the severity of their current predicament. They are caught in a perfectly designed trap, one where the very mechanisms of their destruction were forged by their own hands. Their attempts to deny, blame, or project their failures onto others are futile, for the disaster is too pervasive, too deeply rooted in their own past actions to be evaded. The Bible illustrates this principle clearly in Psalm chapter 37 verse 15. "Their sword shall enter their own heart, and their bows shall be broken." The weapons they wielded against you are now turning against them. The narcissist, in their spiritual blindness, may not connect their current suffering to their past actions. They will likely attribute their misfortunes to external enemies, unfair circumstances, or the perceived injustices of the world. This inability to take responsibility or engage in genuine self-reflection only deepens their entrapment within this self-designed disaster. It prevents them from finding any genuine path to solace or resolution, condemning them to a perpetual cycle of despair and frustration. They continue to sow seeds of discord, unknowingly perpetuating their own suffering. Your freedom from this disaster stands in stark contrast to their inescapable entrapment. You are no longer contributing to their chaos, nor are you caught in its destructive wake. By choosing truth, healing, and self-preservation, you stepped out of the path of their self-destructing trajectory. Your peace and burgeoning joy are a profound testimony to the fact that while they are consumed by the disaster they designed, you are liberated, walking in a reality built on integrity and divine blessing, far removed from the consequences of their choices. From the heart of the disaster they designed, a catastrophe meticulously crafted by their own choices, we now observe another critical facet of the narcissist's inescapable predicament. Their escape routes gone, the manipulative tactics they have relied upon for a lifetime, their cunning methods of evasion, blame shifting, and disappearing into new narratives are now completely and irrevocably blocked. The very strategies they use to avoid accountability are no longer functioning, leaving them utterly exposed and desperate within the confines of their self-created disaster. For years, the narcissist mastered the art of evasion. When confronted with consequences, Their go-to strategies included immediate blame shifting, projecting their faults onto others, and gaslighting their victims into questioning their own reality. They perfected the art of charming new supply to distract from past failures or simply vanishing into thin air, leaving a trail of confusion and hurt behind them. They skillfully manipulated narratives, painting themselves as the victim or the hero, bending truth to fit their grandiosity. These were their well-worn escape routes, their reliable pathways out of accountability and into a fresh, unblemished beginning. However, as the divine hand of justice moves, these pathways are systematically being sealed off. The Bible states, in Proverbs chapter 19 verse 5, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape." The narcissist, as a master of false witness and lies, is now facing that inescapable punishment. These once effective methods are now completely blocked for several powerful reasons. Firstly, people are finally seeing through them. The cumulative effect of their consistent deceit means that their credibility has been utterly eroded. Individuals who once fell for their charm or their victim narratives are now discerning the patterns, recognizing the hollowness behind the words. Their gaslighting, which once left others disoriented, now often meets with resistance and clarity from those who have healed and learned. The discerning eye, empowered by truth, can now spot the red flags a mile away, preventing new supply from being easily drawn in or quickly disabusing them of their illusions. Secondly, a significant portion of this blocking comes from divine intervention. The very unseen forces we discussed previously are actively frustrating their attempts to evade. Doors that once opened easily for them are now mysteriously shut. Opportunities for new supply that would normally present themselves are now scarce, or lead to unsatisfying, short-lived connections. The narratives they try to spin publicly are quickly debunked or meet with skepticism, as the truth, often from unexpected sources, comes to light faster than they can suppress it. This is not about active human sabotage, but about God's sovereign control, ensuring that justice takes its course. Psalm chapter 140 verse 8 prays, "Grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Do not further their evil plot, lest they be exalted." God is indeed not furthering their evil plot. He is dismantling it, blocking every escape. The narcissists' attempts to utilize these blocked escape routes are increasingly frantic and desperate. When their blame shifting doesn't stick, they escalate their rage. When their charm fails to captivate new supply, they become more overtly aggressive or manipulative. When their victim narrative is met with knowing glances rather than sympathy, their frustration boils over into a maddening sense of injustice. This constant failure to escape, this repeated slamming of doors they once glided through, fuels their internal torment and accelerates their descent into the disaster they created. They are like a cornered animal, lashing out wildly, only further ensnaring themselves in the web they spun. Their grandiosity, once a protective shield, now becomes a target, making their fall all the more painful as their strategies crumble around them. The cruel irony for the narcissist is that the very skills they hone to evade accountability are now the instruments of their demise. Their elaborate lies have formed a labyrinth from which there is no exit. Their charm, once a tool of seduction, now carries a faint scent of desperation. Their ability to abandon relationships, once a swift exit, now leaves them in deepening isolation. Every maneuver they attempt to escape only highlights their predicament, confirming to others, and perhaps even to a subconscious part of themselves, that there is no way out of the consequences they so meticulously designed, your freedom from their influence means you are no longer a resource for their escape. You are not a new supply they can charm, not a scapegoat they can blame, and not a narrative they can control. Your absence from their life is a gaping hole in their arsenal of evasion. By stepping away, you closed one of their most vital escape routes, allowing the full weight of their self-created disaster to descend upon them. This is a profound testament to the power of detachment and divine justice. While they thrash in their self-made trap, frantically searching for escape routes gone, you are walking freely, knowing that the spiritual laws of the universe are unwavering and just, ensuring that what they sowed, they will indeed fully reap. From the agonizing realization that their escape route's gone, leaving them with no means to evade the consequences of their actions, we now witness the inevitable and devastating public spectacle. Their facade crumbles publicly. The elaborate, false self they have meticulously presented to the world for so long is now not only cracking under pressure, but is actively failing for all to see, revealing the hollowness and deceit beneath. For the narcissist, their false self is their very existence. It is a carefully constructed persona, a masterful illusion designed to elicit admiration, trust, and unquestioning obedience. This facade might have been one of magnetic charm, unparalleled success, profound empathy, or even perpetual victimhood, each designed to manipulate perceptions and extract supply. They poured immense energy into maintaining this illusion, believing it was impenetrable, a seamless garment of perfection that shielded their true, empty core. You, in your compassion, may have inadvertently helped them uphold this illusion, reflecting back the image they so desperately craved. However, any structure built on lies is inherently unstable. As the Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 7 verses 26 and 27, "And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall." Their house of lies, constructed on the shifting sands of deceit, is now succumbing to the spiritual storms, and its fall is indeed great. The crumbling of this facade happens publicly and painfully for the narcissist. The inconsistencies in their stories, once easily dismissed or explained away, become glaringly obvious to others. People who previously fell under their spell or believed their fabricated narratives begin to question, to doubt, and eventually to see through the illusion. The mask, which they once wore with such practiced ease, now slips in public settings, revealing flashes of their underlying rage, their profound insecurity, or their thinly veiled contempt. What was once admired is now viewed with skepticism. What was trusted is now seen as suspect, and what was respected quickly devolves into pity or even outright disdain. This public unraveling is an excruciating experience for the narcissist because their entire sense of worth, their very identity, is derived from external validation and the maintenance of this grand illusion. When the audience stops believing, their world shatters. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 9 states, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." Their crooked ways are now being exposed to the light of public scrutiny. This public crumbling is so devastating because it strikes at the very core of their being. They have no genuine inner self to fall back on. The false self is their reality. When that reality is debunked in the eyes of others, they experience an existential crisis. The loss of reputation, the erosion of admiration, and the public humiliation of being exposed as a fraud are far worse than any tangible consequence for them. It confirms their deepest unspoken fear that they are, at their core, utterly worthless. This fuels their internal torment, intensifying the silent screams and driving them into a desperate, often erratic, frenzy to regain control of a narrative that is now slipping irrevocably from their grasp. It is vital to understand that this widespread exposure is an act of divine justice, the natural outcome of truth coming to light, and not something you have orchestrated. Your decision to remove yourself from their sphere of influence to seek your own healing and truth creates a vacuum around them. In that vacuum, the lies that were once sustained by your unwitting participation now have nowhere to hide. God's sovereign hand is actively working to reveal what has been hidden. As Luke chapter 12 verse 2 reminds us, nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. The truth about their manipulative nature, about the charade they have maintained, is being unveiled for all to witness. Not by your direct effort, but by the relentless power of divine revelation. The narcissist will, of course, frantically try to counter this public crumbling. They will launch smear campaigns, desperately try to recruit new flying monkeys, or attempt to reinvent themselves with a fresh set of lies. But these efforts are largely futile against the relentless tide of exposure. Each new fabrication only serves to highlight the inconsistencies, and each desperate attempt to regain control only makes their unraveling more obvious to an increasingly discerning public. The more they struggle, the more their facade crumbles, ensuring that the spectacle of their demise is fully witnessed. While this public collapse is profoundly agonizing for them, for you, it serves as a powerful validation of your past experiences. It confirms that your perceptions were accurate, that their behavior was indeed deceptive, and that the profound confusion and pain you experienced were not imagined. Your emergence into truth stands in stark contrast to their deepening public humiliation. You are no longer contributing to their false reality. Instead, you are a living testament to the power of authenticity, now observing their facade crumbles publicly, leaving them exposed and undone by the disaster they themselves created. As the narcissist's facade crumbles publicly, leaving them exposed and undone, an even more profound and agonizing consequence takes root. They become isolated and alone. This isn't merely a fleeting moment of solitude. It is a deepening, pervasive loneliness that stems directly from their fundamental inability to forge genuine human connections, pushing them into a self-imposed prison of profound desolation. While they may frantically scramble to find new sources of external validation, the quality of their interactions diminishes, leaving them in a perpetual state of spiritual emptiness. The core of the narcissist's existence prevents them from forming authentic bonds. Their relationships are inherently transactional, serving primarily as a means to extract narcissistic supply attention, admiration, control, or resources. They view others not as unique individuals with their own intrinsic value and feelings, but as extensions of themselves, mere tools to validate their fragile ego and fuel their insatiable needs. This inherent self-absorption, coupled with their toxic patterns of manipulation, devaluation, and deceit, inevitably repels those who seek true intimacy and mutual respect. People, even new sources of fleeting admiration, eventually grow weary of the emotional drain, the relentless one-sidedness, and the pervasive sense of being used. The Bible makes it clear that such a path leads to separation, as Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20 states, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." The narcissist, being a companion of foolish and harmful ways, ultimately suffers the profound harm of isolation as others wisely choose to distance themselves. The nature of this profound loneliness is deeply internal and spiritual. It's not just the absence of people around them, but the complete absence of true intimacy, of ever being truly seen, understood, or loved for who they are. But because the narcissist has no genuine self, only a meticulously constructed facade, they are incapable of experiencing authentic connection. They are trapped in an inner void, a spiritual barrenness that no amount of external adoration or fleeting attention can ever truly fill. Their constant, desperate search for new supply is a futile attempt to escape this inner prison, to plug a spiritual chasm that can only be filled by humility, empathy, and genuine love, qualities they utterly lack. As Scripture reveals in Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 13, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and dug out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." The narcissist relies on these broken cisterns of external validation, which consistently fail to hold the true sustenance of connection, leading to ever deeper, agonizing isolation. This isolation deepens for several interconnected reasons. Firstly, as their facade crumbles, people naturally begin to pull away. The charisma that once drew others and loses its luster as their true character is revealed. Secondly, the sheer exhaustion required to maintain their elaborate pretense takes a severe toll. Constantly performing, managing multiple false narratives, and perpetually seeking external validation is an emotionally draining endeavor. Over time, even the most skilled narcissist will tire, and the cracks in their performance become more frequent and obvious. This leads to a natural distancing from others, as potential sources of supply find them less engaging, more demanding, or simply too transparent in their deceit. The mask becomes too heavy to wear consistently, and when it slips, people instinctively recoil. Perhaps most significantly, the loss of quality supply, particularly the consistent, empathetic attention you once provided, irrevocably accelerates this profound loneliness. You, in your genuine capacity for caring, perhaps inadvertently overlooked their flaws or absorbed their negativity, providing a unique and vital form of sustenance they cannot easily replicate. New sources of supply, often less empathetic or more discerning, will typically abandon them more quickly or provide less satisfying validation. This leaves the narcissist in a perpetual state of intense hunger, constantly seeking new victims, new opportunities to feed their ego, but never truly finding the genuine connection or fulfillment their barren spirit desperately craves. This cycle deepens their entrapment in solitude. This deepening isolation is an inescapable and self-inflicted consequence, a direct result of their lifelong refusal to live in truth and cultivate genuine, reciprocal relationships. They chose a path of exploitation, deceit, and profound self-absorption, and the inevitable outcome of such a path is spiritual barrenness and profound solitude. While they may attempt to project an image of popularity or surrounded by shallow acquaintances, their inner reality is one of profound, agonizing solitude. They are alone in their grandiosity, alone in their deceit, and ultimately left isolated, and alone with their growing internal torment. This is a bitter fruit of their own sowing, a severe and inescapable consequence of their unrighteousness. Your ability to form genuine, healthy connections now stands in stark and luminous contrast to their deepening isolation. Your journey of healing has opened you up to authentic relationships, to reciprocal love, and to the joy of true fellowship. While they remain trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle of transactional interactions and increasing loneliness, you are building a life rich in meaningful bonds, radiating warmth and truth. Your thriving connections serve as a powerful, silent testimony to the stark difference between a life lived in truth and a life lived in deceit, further intensifying the crushing blow of their unfolding karma. From the chilling grip of being isolated and alone, a consequence born of their inability to genuinely connect, we now delve into the deepest and most agonizing aspect of the narcissist's self-created disaster, their mind's unrelenting torment. This is the intense, inescapable internal suffering they experience, a direct and brutal result of their destructive choices, their constant deceit, and the profound spiritual barrenness that now defines their existence. While they may attempt to project an image of indifference or even fleeting happiness, their inner world is a relentless battleground, a prison of their own making from which there is no true escape. The narcissist lives in a state of perpetual, agonizing cognitive dissonance. Their inflated, grandiose self-image constantly clashes with the crumbling reality of their actions and the undeniable consequences now engulfing them. This inherent conflict creates an unceasing internal turmoil, a mental and emotional agony that manifests as pervasive paranoia, crippling anxiety, and a simmering, often explosive rage. They are haunted by intrusive thoughts, relentlessly replaying past events, not with genuine remorse, for that requires empathy, but with a bitter frustration over perceived slights, lost control, or opportunities that slipped away. Having lived a life built on deceit, they project their own dishonesty onto everyone around them, creating a world where trust is impossible and every interaction is viewed through a lens of potential betrayal. This constant suspicion creates an internal prison, denying them any true peace or clarity. The Bible tells us in Isaiah chapter 57 verse 21, "There is no peace, says my God, for the wicked." This divine declaration speaks directly to the narcissist's internal state. Their mind is perpetually agitated, utterly incapable of finding genuine quiet or rest. This torment is unrelenting precisely because the narcissist fundamentally lacks the capacity for genuine self-reflection, humility, or accountability. They cannot look inward and acknowledge their flaws, their responsibility for their own suffering, or the profound damage they have inflicted upon others. Instead, they stubbornly double down on their delusions, blaming everyone else, you, their past, society, for their misfortunes. This constant blame shifting prevents them from ever learning, ever growing, or ever finding a pathway to true inner peace. Their false narrative, which once provided a fragile shield of comfort, is now relentlessly breaking down under the weight of accumulating evidence and the impact of their karmic consequences. This intellectual and emotional breakdown further intensifies their internal chaos, leaving them without a stable foundation for their very identity. Furthermore, the deep spiritual vacuum within them contributes profoundly to this torment. Having consistently rejected truth, empathy, integrity, and genuine connection, they have severed themselves from the very source of spiritual sustenance and divine peace. This profound inner emptiness manifests as annoying, insatiable dissatisfaction, a perpetual hunger for external validation that no amount of narcissistic supply, no matter how abundant or fleeting, can ever truly fill. Every brief moment of external affirmation is quickly consumed, leaving them just as empty as before, perpetuating a desperate, futile cycle that continuously feeds their inner torment. This spiritual barrenness ensures their suffering is not merely temporary or situational, but a persistent, defining feature of their internal landscape, an inescapable part of the disaster they designed for themselves. This internal suffering is severe, debilitating, and far more agonizing than any external consequence they might face. The reason is simple. It is utterly inescapable. They can change jobs, find new relationships, move to new locations, or acquire new possessions, but they can never escape their own minds. Even with new sources of supply, dissatisfaction is fleeting, and the underlying torment quickly resurfaces, demanding more, driving them to greater extremes. The more they try to outrun their inner demons, their paranoia, their anxiety, their unacknowledged self-loathing, the more relentlessly those demons pursue them. Their rage, often outwardly directed at perceived enemies, is also consuming them from within, burning through their mental and emotional reserves, leaving them exhausted, agitated, and increasingly unhinged. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 21 states, "No ill befalls the righteous, but the wicked are filled with trouble." This trouble for the wicked is often an internal, constant torment of their own making, a divine consequence of their choices. The Bible speaks powerfully about the torment of a wicked conscience, even when that conscience has been hardened by years of sin. While the narcissist may not experience traditional guilt or remorse, their conscience is still active in a way that manifests as ceaseless anxiety and fear of exposure. Their past deeds, their abuses, and their lies return to haunt them, not as moral pangs, but as a deep-seated, pervasive fear of being found out and a frantic need to control every variable around them. This fear is a relentless tormentor, denying them any semblance of peace. They are trapped in the darkness of their own making, unable to see the light of truth or the path to liberation. John chapter 3 verse 19 describes this, and this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light because their works were evil. Their love for darkness and evil works results in a judgment that manifests as this continuous, mind's unrelenting torment. In stark contrast, your growing mental peace and clarity stand as a powerful testament to your freedom. While their minds are a chaotic battlefield, your spirit is cultivating an inner sanctuary of calm. While they are consumed by anxiety and rage, you are embracing serenity and profound insight. This profound difference is not lost on the spiritual realm, and it serves as a silent yet immensely powerful vindication. Your peace highlights the depth of their suffering, not because you wish it upon them, but because your light naturally exposes the profound darkness of their internal prison, a prison they have chosen for themselves and from which they cannot run. From the agonizing depths of the narcissist's mind's unrelenting torment, a consequence that consumes them from within, we now confront a powerful and inescapable force that intensifies their suffering. Truth's blinding glare. This isn't merely the slow, grinding impact of natural consequences. It is the active, purposeful hand of divine revelation, meticulously exposing their hidden deceptions and bringing their carefully constructed lies into the stark, undeniable light of day. For those who choose to live in profound spiritual darkness, this light is not a comfort or a guide, but a source of searing pain and profound judgment. The narcissist thrives in shadows, relying on secrecy, misdirection, and sophisticated manipulation to maintain their false facade. Their entire existence is predicated upon a foundation of deceit, where they meticulously control narratives, cunningly distort facts, and present a fabricated version of reality to the world. They genuinely believe their cunning is impenetrable, that their lies are so expertly woven and their charisma so compelling that their true nature will never be discovered. However, God's word speaks unequivocally about the ultimate triumph of truth over deception. Luke chapter 8 verse 17 declares, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor anything secret that will not be known and come to light." This is a divine promise, assuring us that every hidden deception, every secret manipulation, and every carefully veiled falsehood will, in its appointed time, be brought into the glaring, undeniable light of public knowledge, often in ways that the narcissist least expects or can effectively control. This unsettling unveiling frequently occurs through a series of unexpected revelations, like cracks appearing in a seemingly solid wall. A seemingly innocuous conversation might suddenly expose a glaring inconsistency in their fabricated history, sparking doubt in a listener's mind. A former associate, perhaps once intimidated or manipulated into silence, might unexpectedly find the courage to speak out, providing crucial pieces of missing information. Documents, emails, or other forms of evidence, once believed to be safely hidden, destroyed, or cleverly obfuscated, might mysteriously surface, confirming long-held suspicions. Sometimes their own words, carelessly spoken in moments of rage or desperation, will betray their true nature, revealing their contempt, their deep-seated insecurity, or their malevolent intentions to those who now have eyes to see. These moments of exposure are not random. They are orchestrated by truth's blinding glare, systematically dismantling the very fabric of their carefully woven deceit. They are moments where the mask slips irrevocably and the stark, ugly reality of their true, empty self is revealed for all to witness. The impact of this relentless unveiling is profoundly devastating to the narcissist because their entire existence, their very identity, is inextricably predicated on deception. Their false self requires a constant, unending stream of lies and external validation to sustain its precarious existence. When those lies are exposed, when their carefully constructed narrative is debunked, their entire false reality begins to crumble. They lose control over their public narrative, which for them is akin to losing control over their very being. The admiration they once craved turns to skepticism, trust morphs into deep suspicion, and their meticulously managed public image shatters into irreparable fragments. This public exposure amplifies their private torment, intensifying their silent screams and driving them further into overwhelming paranoia and unbridled rage. They cannot bear to be seen for who they truly are, because what lies beneath the facade is a profound, intolerable void. The Bible warns in Psalm chapter 7 verse 14, "Behold, the wicked man conceives evil and is pregnant with mischief and gives birth to lies. The very lies they have birthed are now turning against them, revealing their mischief and malice to all. It is crucial for your understanding and peace to grasp that this process of exposure is an act of divine justice, an integral part of the spiritual battle between light and darkness, and not something you are actively engineering or manipulating. Your role is simply to align yourself with truth, to pursue your own healing, and to step into your authentic liberation. As you do so, your own light naturally exposes their darkness, and God's sovereign hand actively works behind the scenes to bring hidden things to light. You are not pulling the strings of their demise. Rather, you are witnessing the inevitable consequences of a life lived in opposition to truth and divine principles. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 9 states, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." The narcissist's crooked, deceptive ways are now being found out by a divine revelation that they are powerless to suppress or control. The narcissist, in their arrogance and desperation, will frantically attempt to suppress this unveiling light. They will deny the undeniable, desperately try to blame shift, launch aggressive smear campaigns, or feverishly attempt to construct new, more elaborate lies to cover up the exposed ones. They will rationalize, minimize, and distort, clinging to their fabricated reality with every ounce of their being. But these efforts are ultimately futile against the relentless power of divine truth. The nature of divine truth is that it cannot be permanently suppressed. Like an unstoppable river finding its way through the smallest cracks in a dam, the truth will inevitably find a way to surface, eroding their control, shattering their credibility, and exposing their fraudulence. Each new exposure, each piece of undeniable evidence that contradicts their fabricated reality, chips away relentlessly at their precarious foundation, accelerating their irreversible descent into chaos and public ruin. This truth's blinding glare is a powerful testament to the fact that God is a God of perfect justice who sees all. No manipulation, no cunning deceit, no hidden cruelty can remain concealed forever from His all-seeing eye. Those who intentionally choose to live in darkness will eventually be consumed by it, not because of human vengeance, but because the very spiritual principles of the universe demand balance, accountability, and the ultimate triumph of truth. For you, this unveiling is a profound validation, confirming that your perceptions were accurate, that their behavior was indeed deeply deceptive, and that your courageous journey towards truth and freedom was indeed divinely guided, even when you felt most confused and alone. It marks another definitive, painful step in their crushing karma, demonstrating that their desperate efforts to hide their true, malevolent nature are now utterly failing under the relentless scrutiny of divine revelation. From the searing intensity of truth's blinding glare, which relentlessly exposes the narcissist's every hidden deception, we now witness the unleashing of an unstoppable, ancient force, karma's full impact. This is the powerful and comprehensive descent of divine consequences upon their deeds, a precise and inescapable return of everything they have sown. It is the spiritual law of cause and effect in full, devastating operation, leaving them utterly overwhelmed by the very destruction they once so casually inflicted upon others. For a lifetime, the narcissist believed they could operate outside the natural and spiritual laws that govern the universe. They felt immune to consequences, convinced that their cunning and manipulation would always allow them to evade accountability. Every lie, every betrayal, every act of cruelty was like a seed planted in the soil of their existence, intended to yield a harvest of power and control. They never imagined that those very seeds would sprout into a bitter, inescapable reality for themselves. However, the spiritual truth is unwavering. What is sent out eventually returns, often with amplified force. The Bible tells us in Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap." The narcissist is now facing the undeniable, inescapable reality of this divine principle. As the full impact of their destructive sowing descends upon them, the nature of karma's full impact is comprehensive and systematic. It's not just an isolated stroke of bad luck or a singular misfortune. It is a profound and pervasive unraveling that touches every significant area of their life. Relationships, once a source of narcissistic supply, now crumble into dust, leaving them in a desolate landscape of broken trust and deepening isolation. Their reputation, once carefully constructed, is shattered by the weight of exposed truths, leaving them publicly disgraced and stripped of their false credibility. Financial stability, if they ever had it, becomes precarious as their reckless choices, manipulative dealings, or inability to maintain consistent legitimate endeavors lead to severe losses and financial distress. Their health, both physical and mental, deteriorates under the crushing weight of their internal torment, manifesting as chronic illness, severe anxiety, and an intensifying of their silent screams into overt rage and despair. This is a reflection of the pain they inflicted upon others, now mirrored back to them in devastating clarity. This impact is full because it is perfectly proportional to their actions, a meticulous rebalancing by divine design. Every ounce of pain they caused, every injustice they perpetrated, every truth they distorted, now contributes to the unbearable weight of their current reality. This is not arbitrary punishment. It is the natural consequence of their chosen path, precisely calibrated by the unseen forces of justice. It is also inescapable because of their inherent inability to repent or change. The narcissist cannot engage in genuine remorse, cannot learn from their mistakes, and cannot alter their destructive patterns. This spiritual inflexibility ensures that they remain caught in the cycle of their own creation, unable to break free from the very actions that are now destroying them. Proverbs chapter 13 verse 15 states, "Good sense wins favor, but the way of the treacherous is their ruin." Their treacherous way is now culminating in their ultimate ruin. This profound karmic descent is a clear manifestation of divine justice and cosmic rebalancing. It affirms that there is a moral order to the universe and that ultimately wickedness does not prevail. God, in His infinite wisdom and perfect righteousness, allows individuals to experience the inevitable outcomes of their choices. For the narcissist who consistently chose pride, deceit, and exploitation, the full force of this spiritual law ensures that they receive a harvest directly proportional to the seeds they planted. This is not a human act of vengeance, but a divine decree, a spiritual law in action that cannot be circumvented. As Psalm chapter 7 verse 16 proclaims, "His mischief returns upon his own head, and on his own scalp his violence descends." The violence and mischief they directed outward are now descending upon them with karma's full impact. The narcissist in their profound spiritual blindness, will likely fail to comprehend the source of their unfolding disaster. They will attribute their suffering to external enemies, perceived injustices, or simply overwhelming bad luck. This inability to connect their current reality to their past actions only intensifies their torment, as they rage against a world they believe is unfairly persecuting them. This denial prevents any path to genuine peace or resolution, leaving them to endlessly battle against the very consequences they designed. Their struggle against this inevitable fate is futile, for the forces of divine justice are unwavering. Your rising freedom, peace, and flourishing life stand in stark and poignant contrast to their deepening despair. While they are consumed by karma's full impact, witnessing the systematic unraveling of their self-created reality, you are ascending into greater clarity, joy, and purpose. Your liberation serves as a powerful testament to the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness. Your ability to move forward, unburdened by their chaos, directly highlights their ongoing entanglement in the consequences of their choices. This contrast is not accidental. It is a divinely orchestrated sign, confirming that while they are ensnared in the disaster they designed, you are blessed, protected, and flourishing, far removed from the crushing weight of their karma. From the overwhelming force of karma's full impact, which is now systematically dismantling the narcissist's life, we turn our attention to the meticulous, yet often unseen, work of a higher power, divine hand at work. This refers to the fine-tuned to the meticulous, yet often unseen, work of a higher power, divine hand at work. This refers to the mine hand at work. This refers to the subtle, quiet, yet incredibly potent interventions orchestrated behind the scenes, meticulously disrupting their plans, undermining their influence, and steadily dismantling their remaining vestiges of power. While they frantically scramble to maintain control and regain their footing, an invisible sovereign hand is ensuring their schemes unravel and their dominion dissipates. The narcissist thrives on overt control and visible manipulation. They are masters of grand gestures, dramatic displays of power, and direct confrontation. They genuinely believe they can bend the will of others, conquer any obstacle, and outwit any adversary through sheer force of will or cunning. However, the divine hand at work operates on an entirely different plane, moving quietly, almost imperceptibly, disrupting their plans in ways they cannot comprehend, anticipate, or directly combat. This form of divine action is particularly agonizing for them because they cannot identify a visible enemy to blame, nor can they fight against what they cannot see or fully grasp. The Bible reminds us in Psalm chapter 33 verse 10, "The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He frustrates the plans of the peoples." This divine frustration of plans is precisely what the narcissist is now experiencing on a deeply personal, maddening level as their carefully laid schemes come to naught. Consider how this divine hand at work often manifests. It might appear as a series of inexplicable setbacks or seemingly coincidental bad luck that repeatedly derails their efforts. Crucial alliances that once seemed solid suddenly dissolve without any clear external trigger. Opportunities they were absolutely counting on mysteriously vanish, or vital resources they relied upon become unexpectedly unavailable. People who once readily supported them, who were easily swayed by their charm, might suddenly change their minds without providing any obvious external reason, sensing an unspoken unease, distrust, or simply a lack of peace in their presence. Forgotten details from their past lives or hidden aspects of their character might resurface at the most inconvenient times, subtly undermining their current credibility and exposing their true intentions. There might be a gradual, almost imperceptible erosion of their social support network, their financial stability, or even their physical vitality, creating a pervasive sense of powerlessness that they are utterly unable to pinpoint or effectively rectify. Each of these seemingly random misfortunes, each subtle shift in circumstance, is a deliberate, divine adjustment, nudging them closer to their inevitable and complete collapse. This subtle dismantling of their power is profoundly tormenting. For the narcissist, they are accustomed to being in charge, to dictating terms, and to controlling outcomes with precision. When circumstances continually turn against them, and they cannot identify a direct human cause to blame or attack, it fuels their inherent paranoia and escalates their simmering rage. They experience a profound sense of unseen forces working against them, a cosmic unfairness that defies their self-centered understanding. Their frantic efforts to fix things or to regain control often only exacerbate their problems, as their attempts to manipulate or force outcomes are met with further inexplicable resistance from the unfolding divine plan. This continuous frustration slowly chips away at their grandiosity, driving them deeper into the internal chaos of their silent screams. Their usual tactics fail, not because someone directly thwarted them, but because a higher power is subtly shifting the scales of justice against them. This profound work of the divine hand is a powerful testament to God's sovereign control over all events, even the seemingly minor coincidences of life. It demonstrates that divine justice is not always a dramatic, thunderous pronouncement, but often a quiet, patient, yet utterly relentless process that meticulously unravels the wicked schemes of the deceitful. God is actively working behind the scenes, orchestrating events to ensure that truth ultimately prevails, and that those who sow destruction will reap their just deserts in full measure. As Job chapter 5 verse 12 affirms, he frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. The narcissist's crafty devices, their intricate manipulations, are being systematically frustrated by this unseen hand, ensuring their hands achieve no lasting, genuine success or fulfillment. Furthermore, this very divine hand at work is simultaneously working to protect and elevate you. While obstacles are strategically placed in their path, doors are being opened for your growth and blessing. While their resources diminish, yours may be unexpectedly replenished or divinely guided. While their influence wanes and their reputation crumbles, your authentic connections deepen and your true character shines more brightly. You might not always perceive these divine interventions in the immediate moment, but retrospectively, you will see with astonishing clarity how circumstances subtly shifted in your favor, guiding you away from harm and towards blessing. This unseen hand is a constant reminder that you are divinely protected, and that even in the face of their continued malevolence, a higher power is meticulously working for your profound good and ultimate liberation. The narcissist, in their arrogance, self-absorption, and spiritual blindness, will never fully comprehend the precise workings of this divine hand. They will perpetually attribute their misfortunes to bad luck, jealous enemies, or arbitrary cosmic injustice. This inability to grasp the spiritual dimension of their downfall only intensifies their torment, as they fight against an invisible current that inexorably pulls them towards their karmic destiny. Your peace, your growing freedom, and your blossoming life stand in stark contrast to their deepening despair, silently confirming the unparalleled power of this unseen, yet ever-present, divine justice dismantling their power. While the divine hand at work meticulously, yet subtly, dismantles the narcissist's remaining power, a profound and undeniable truth continues to unfold in your life, your peace, their fury. This refers to the increasing serenity, inner calm, and profound spiritual tranquility that now emanates from your very being. This growing tranquility, by its very existence, becomes an unbearable, maddening contrast to the narcissist's deepening internal chaos, their escalating rage, and the profound torment that now consumes them. Your journey away from their manipulative grasp has not simply been a process of escape. It has been one of profound spiritual liberation and transformation. As you have bravely shed the heavy burdens of their control, their distorted narratives, and the insidious trauma they inflicted, you have steadily begun to reclaim your authentic self. This reclamation manifests as an inner peace that is no longer dependent on external circumstances or the approval of others. It is a genuine joy that bubbles up from an inexhaustible wellspring within, and an unwavering authenticity that effortlessly draws healthy, reciprocal connections towards you. This is the divine peace promised in Scripture, as Philippians chapter 4 verse 7 beautifully assures us, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This profound peace is now your inherent state, a radiant glow emanating from a heart and mind securely guarded by divine grace. This growing tranquility is profoundly unbearable to the narcissist precisely because it fundamentally and undeniably contradicts every manipulative narrative they have meticulously crafted about you. They desperately expected you to be utterly broken, to be perpetually consumed by despair, to be completely lost, diminished, and unable to function without their supposed presence. Their inflated ego demanded that your life crumble in their absence. Your peace, your joy, and your obvious flourishing, completely independent of their influence, utterly discredit their perceived power and expose the absolute hollowness of their supposed significance in your life. This crushing realization that you are not only surviving but thriving without them is intensely infuriating for them, intensifying their already agonizing silent screams and driving them deeper into their self-imposed misery and unbridled fury. Furthermore, your peace acts as a relentless, unbearable mirror, relentlessly reflecting their own profound inner chaos back to them with startling, painful clarity. When they glimpse your growing contentment, your ability to move forward with grace, and your serene acceptance of your new reality, it starkly magnifies their own profound lack of peace, their constant internal struggle, and the pervasive emptiness that relentlessly plagues their existence. They are perpetually striving, constantly chasing fleeting external validation, always feeling incomplete and profoundly dissatisfied. Your calm, self-contained presence highlights everything they cannot achieve, everything they have forfeited through their own destructive choices, and everything they desperately envy but can never truly possess because they refuse to walk in truth. The pure light of your peace makes their darkness all the more apparent, a contrast they find utterly intolerable and maddening. This profound irritation, fueled by envy and a desperate sense of loss, often manifests as an eruption of intense rage, spiteful gossip, and a frantic, almost instinctual, need to disrupt your tranquility. They cannot bear the idea of you being genuinely happy, especially when that happiness is clearly disconnected from them and their toxic influence. This desperate need for control is frequently a driving force behind any attempts to hoover or re-engage with you, not out of genuine longing for your well-being or a desire for reconciliation, but out of a perverse, malicious intent to shatter your peace, to drag you back into their familiar chaos, and to reassert a dying sense of control over your emotions and your life. They cannot comprehend a peace that exists independently of their manipulation, and so they are consumed by a furious desire to extinguish it. No matter the cost to themselves, it is crucial for your continued well-being to understand that your growing peace is not a weapon you are wielding against them, nor is it born of any malice or desire for revenge. It is an inherent spiritual truth, the natural and beautiful outcome of aligning yourself with divine principles of truth, healing, and profound liberation. By simply existing in your authentic, peaceful state, you become an undeniable testament to the consequences of their unrighteousness and the ultimate triumph of light. Your light inherently exposes their darkness, much like a powerful floodlight reveals the intricate, ugly details of a shadowy landscape. This process is divinely ordained, a crucial part of the greater karmic rebalancing that ensures justice ultimately prevails and righteousness is upheld. The Bible confirms this dynamic in Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18. But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. Your path is now the light, and their path, by undeniable contrast, is the encroaching, suffocating darkness that consumes them. The narcissist, in their profound spiritual blindness and hardened heart, cannot dim this growing light, no matter how desperately they try to provoke, diminish, or attack you. Their manipulative tactics, their vicious smear campaigns, their desperate attempts to elicit a reaction, all are ultimately futile against the profound spiritual power of your authentic peace. Their efforts only serve to highlight their own escalating desperation and to make your radiant glow even more apparent and striking to those who have eyes to truly see. Your thriving, your serene countenance, and your growing freedom are the ultimate forms of vindication, a silent yet undeniably powerful proof that their attempts to diminish, control, and destroy you have utterly failed, leaving them alone with their escalating chaos, their unbridled fury, and the unbearable contrast of your undeniable divine peace. Flowing seamlessly from the brilliant contrast of your peace, their fury, where your growing tranquility acts as an unbearable torment to the narcissist. We now explore the profound inner work that sustains and deepens that peace, protecting it from any lingering shadow of their malevolence. Spiritual strength ascends. This refers to the incredible fortitude, the unshakable inner resilience, and the profoundly sharpened discernment that is being forged within your spirit. It is a divine empowerment, preparing you not just to survive, but to truly thrive, impervious to any past influence or future attempts at manipulation. Having bravely walked through the refining fire of narcissistic abuse, you have endured a trial that most cannot fully comprehend. While undoubtedly painful, this experience has become a sacred crucible in which your character has been refined and purified. The spiritual strength that is now ascending within you is not merely a superficial coping mechanism. It is a deep-seated, fundamental hardening of your spirit against manipulation, a profound, inherent resistance to deceit, and an unwavering, unyielding commitment to divine truth. This strength is an undeniable divine gift, a precious byproduct of enduring adversity with unwavering faith and a profound reliance on a higher power. The Bible tells us in James chapter 1 verses 2-4, "Count it all joy, brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." Your trials, though difficult, have indeed produced this steadfastness, making you increasingly complete and divinely equipped. This growing spiritual strength and discernment manifest in various, often subtle, yet incredibly powerful ways that actively shield your peace. You now possess an unshakable inner peace that cannot be easily disturbed by external drama, the machinations of others, or even the memory of past wounds. Your intuition, once perhaps ignored, doubted, or suppressed by their gaslighting, is now incredibly sharp, acting as an instantaneous alarm system. It allows for the quick recognition of red flags in people and situations, enabling you to sense deceit from a distance, discern ulterior motives with uncanny accuracy, and identify manipulative patterns almost instantaneously. This heightened spiritual awareness acts as an internal protective shield, guiding you away from potential harm and towards healthy, life-affirming connections. Your boundaries, once perhaps porous, easily violated, or even non-existent due to their relentless boundary pushing, are now firm, clear, and non-negotiable. You understand your inherent worth and your divine right to safety, respect, and peace, and you are empowered to uphold these boundaries with quiet, resolute confidence. This is not about anger, aggression, or confrontational defiance. It is about a calm, unwavering declaration of your value and your unwavering commitment to protecting your sacred inner space. Furthermore, your emotional regulation has matured immensely. While you continue to feel deeply, you are no longer tossed about by the emotional storms of others. You can observe without absorbing, empathize without enabling, and respond with spiritual wisdom rather than impulsive reactivity. This emotional mastery is a direct result of having navigated the turbulent, treacherous waters of narcissistic abuse and emerging whole. Anchored in divine truth, the development of this unshakable spiritual strength and heightened discernment is absolutely crucial for your continued freedom, peace, and purposeful path. It acts as an impenetrable barrier, preventing any future re-entanglement with similar destructive patterns or toxic individuals. It vigorously safeguards your precious energy, ensuring that your valuable life force is consistently invested in genuine growth, divine purpose, and meaningful relationships, rather than being drained by parasitic interactions. And perhaps most importantly, it makes you fundamentally and profoundly unbothered by any lingering attempts the narcissist might make to re-enter your life or disrupt your tranquility. Their efforts will feel like a distant hum, powerless to penetrate the robust, divinely built walls of your inner fortress. You are putting on the full armor of God, as Ephesians chapter 6 verse 11 commands, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil." Your ascending spiritual strength is a vital, non-negotiable part of this divine, protective armor. This profound transformation is an undeniable divine gift, a testament to God's incredible redemptive power, meticulously turning what was meant for your destruction into an enduring source of profound spiritual power and unshakable inner peace. It powerfully underscores the truth that every trial, when surrendered to divine purpose and met with faith, can become a stepping stone to greater spiritual maturity, a deeper understanding of your true, divinely ordained identity, and an unwavering connection to the Creator. The wisdom you have gained, the strength you now embody, are not fragile acquisitions. They are permanent attributes, meticulously forged in the fires of adversity, making you an incredibly powerful force for good in your own life and in the lives of those you genuinely connect with. This unshakable strength, this ascending spiritual fortitude, is far beyond the narcissist's comprehension or their ability to disrupt. They operate in a world defined by external validation, fleeting control, and superficial power. They cannot understand a strength that comes from within, a resilience that is rooted in spiritual truth, and a discernment that effortlessly sees through their deepest deceptions. Your growing spiritual fortitude ensures that, while their chaos deepens, your peace becomes unassailable, a living, breathing testament to the divine protection and empowerment that now defines your liberated existence, ensuring that they truly cannot run from the consequences of their choices. Building upon the robust foundation of your spiritual strength ascends the practical application of your newly gained resilience and profound discernment comes into sharp focus. Boundaries create sanctuary. These are not merely physical distances you strategically create. They are powerful, unyielding spiritual and emotional walls, meticulously constructed to protect your burgeoning peace and to ensure that the narcissist's relentless chaos remains forever outside your sacred inner space. This sanctuary is your divine inheritance, a safe haven where your spirit can flourish undisturbed. For too long, you likely experienced permeable, violated, or even non-existent boundaries, allowing the narcissist to invade your thoughts, emotions, and even your very sense of self. Their manipulation thrived in the absence of clear lines, blurring your reality and relentlessly draining your vital energy. But now, as you walk in greater freedom, clarity, and spiritual strength, establishing and maintaining these firm boundaries is an essential declaration of your inherent spiritual sovereignty. It communicates, both to the external world and deeply to your own spirit, that you are no longer accessible to their toxicity, their drama, or their destructive patterns. This is a profound divine imperative, for as Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 advises, "Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life." Your boundaries are the vigilant guardians of those life-giving springs, ensuring their purity, their flow, and their protection from contamination. These firmly set boundaries are absolutely crucial for multiple, interconnected reasons. Firstly, they are your primary, impenetrable defense against any insidious attempts at re-entanglement. Narcissists, especially when feeling the crushing weight of their escalating karma, will often attempt to hoover, to reel you back into their corrosive drama. They might send manipulative messages, enlist unsuspecting flying monkeys, mutual acquaintances, or even launch aggressive smear campaigns to provoke a reaction. Without unyielding spiritual walls, these tactics could breach your peace and compromise your liberation. Secondly, these boundaries actively protect your precious energy from their silent screams, their negative projections, and their lingering spiritual residue. Even if you have no direct contact, their chaotic energy can attempt to permeate your space through persistent negative thought patterns or through the indirect reports of others. Your boundaries create an energetic shield, ensuring their torment remains exclusively their own. And thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, they vigorously safeguard your newfound peace, clarity, and divine purpose, allowing you to fully inhabit your blessed new reality without external contamination or spiritual compromise. Setting these unyielding spiritual walls involves a conscious, proactive, and divinely guided approach. It begins with the instant recognition of any attempt at invasion, no matter how subtle or seemingly benign. This includes resolutely refusing to engage with their messages, blocking their calls, unfollowing or blocking them on all social media platforms, and politely but firmly declining to discuss them with mutual acquaintances. It also extends profoundly to protecting your thoughts. If a negative memory or an intrusive thought about them surfaces, you consciously choose to redirect your focus, refusing to ruminate or allow their past actions to steal your present peace and future joy. This mental discipline, empowered by divine strength, is a vital component of your spiritual wall. You are now discerning all communication, filtering out anything that does not serve your highest good, align with your peace, or uphold your spiritual integrity. The Bible encourages us to be discerning, as 1 John chapter 4 verse 1 states, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." This spiritual testing extends to all influences attempting to enter your sacred inner world. Furthermore, your boundaries involve profound spiritual discernment for comprehensive emotional protection. This means unwavering trust in your gut instincts, recognizing immediately when a person or situation feels energetically off or spiritually misaligned, and immediately creating emotional and energetic distance. It means understanding with unwavering clarity that you are neither responsible for their emotional well-being nor are you required to absorb their negativity, their projections, or their spiritual darkness. You have a divine right to peace, and these boundaries are the powerful means by which you assert that right with unshakable authority. This is an act of profound self-love, recognizing your inherent divine value and refusing to allow anyone to diminish or violate it ever again. It is a conscious, empowered choice to honor the sacredness of your own spirit, a spiritual fortress built not by human hands alone, but by divine grace and wisdom. The establishment and unwavering maintenance of these firm boundaries is not an act of malice, vengeance, or retribution. It is an act of profound divine wisdom and essential self-preservation. It powerfully reflects a deeper understanding that true love, genuine connection, and healthy relationships can only genuinely flourish where boundaries are clearly established and consistently respected. Your unwavering commitment to these spiritual walls communicates to the spiritual realm that you are now operating on a higher vibration, separated definitively from the lower frequencies of deceit, manipulation, and spiritual darkness. This profound separation is absolutely vital for your continued growth, for the fulfillment of your divine purpose, and for ensuring that your purposeful path remains clear, unhindered, and continuously blessed. These meticulously constructed, unyielding spiritual walls make you truly impenetrable to their continued, desperate attempts to re-engage. While the narcissist may continue to rage in their internal chaos, caught in the disaster they designed, their futile efforts to breach your peace will be met with an unyielding, unbreakable barrier. They cannot reach your spirit, they cannot disrupt your peace, and they cannot derail your divine purpose. Your firmly set boundaries ensure that your blessed life remains utterly undisturbed, a shining, unwavering testament to your profound liberation and the enduring, impenetrable protection that now surrounds your very being. Within the fortified spiritual sanctuary that boundaries create sanctuary, a protected inner space where your peace is now unyielding, you witness the glorious unfolding of your true destiny, your purposeful path revealed. You are no longer merely surviving the aftermath of trauma. You are embarking upon a blessed life, meticulously guided by divine wisdom, each step aligning you more profoundly with your authentic calling and a deeper, more resonant sense of meaning. This is a journey from the bondage of manipulation to the boundless freedom of spiritual purpose, far removed from the chaotic web in which the narcissist remains irrevocably trapped. For too long, your precious energy, your valuable time, and your inherent focus were likely consumed by the narcissist's insatiable demands, their relentless dramas, and their perpetual attempts to control your narrative and diminish your spirit. Your life might have felt like a continuous reaction to their insidious whims, rather than a proactive, divinely inspired pursuit of your own inherent potential. But as you have bravely broken free from their grasp, cultivated your ascending inner strength, and established your sacred boundaries, a profound and expansive spiritual space has opened within you. In this sacred space, you are now able to hear the quiet, unmistakable whispers of divine guidance, leading you towards your true vocation. This purposeful path is not about grand, overwhelming pronouncements. It's about a deepening, resonant sense of meaning in your daily choices, an unwavering clarity about your core values, and an intuitive, undeniable knowing of the direction your spirit longs to take, a direction meticulously revealed by a higher power. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." Your trust in divine wisdom and your acknowledgement of His sovereignty are now actively leading you onto straightened, purposeful paths, paths the narcissist can never comprehend or traverse. This divinely guided and purposeful path manifests in myriad concrete, deeply fulfilling, and often miraculous ways. New opportunities, previously unseen, unimaginable, or entirely inaccessible, begin to emerge, aligning perfectly and synchronistically with your rediscovered passions, your inherent talents, and your evolving spiritual gifts. These are not merely random occurrences. They are divinely orchestrated moments, precisely designed to propel you forward into your highest calling. Your relationships deepen profoundly, attracting individuals who genuinely resonate with your authentic self and who share a sincere commitment to growth, truth, and mutual upliftment. You find yourself engaging effortlessly in profound creative expression, contributing meaningfully to causes that genuinely matter to your soul, and serving others from a place of spiritual wholeness, boundless compassion, and unwavering wisdom, rather than out of obligation or a desperate need for external validation. Each of these actions, no matter how seemingly small or grand, adds another profound layer of meaning and purpose to your liberated existence, powerfully reinforcing the undeniable sense that you are truly being guided by an unseen, loving hand towards your divine calling. This is unequivocally a blessed life, because it is now permeated by an unshakable inner peace and an authentic, overflowing joy that the narcissist in their profound spiritual barrenness, can never experience or comprehend. It is a life intrinsically rich in spiritual abundance, where true, lasting fulfillment emanates from within and from your continuous, deepening connection to the divine, rather than from fleeting external validation or transient material acquisition. You are now continuously protected by a higher power, shielded from the very chaos, deceit, and spiritual darkness that relentlessly consumes the narcissist's world. The very absence of their toxic, manipulative influence creates an expansive, sacred space for blessings to flow into your life, allowing you to flourish profoundly like a tree planted by rivers of living water. Psalm chapter 1 verse 3 beautifully illustrates this divine flourishing. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. This prosperity is not limited to material wealth. It is a holistic, flourishing spiritual, emotional, relational, and physical, a true and enduring blessing. That is your divine inheritance. The divine guidance on this purposeful path often unfolds in unexpected, synchronistic, and sometimes breathtaking ways, requiring profound trust, unwavering faith, and complete surrender to a higher plan. It might come through moments of quiet contemplation, through the profound wisdom imparted by a trusted spiritual mentor, through the clear insight of a discerning friend, or through seemingly random circumstances that gently but firmly redirect your course towards your highest good. This divine guidance is always for your profound highest good, meticulously designed to lead you away from pitfalls and towards true, lasting fulfillment. It's a continuous journey of walking by unwavering faith, knowing with profound certainty that even when the exact destination isn't entirely clear, each step is being divinely established and secured by a loving, sovereign hand that has your ultimate well-being and divine purpose at heart. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 is a powerful, comforting reminder here. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Your unfolding purposeful path is a direct, vibrant fulfillment of these divine, benevolent plans, a testament to God's enduring faithfulness. In stark and painful contrast, the narcissist, perpetually devoid of any genuine purpose beyond profound self-gratification and fleeting external validation, remains spiritually stagnant and utterly empty. Their future is a repetitive, self-perpetuating cycle of their own destructive patterns, as they desperately chase new supply but never find true satisfaction, peace, or lasting fulfillment. They cannot even begin to comprehend your blessed existence, your genuine, authentic joy, or the profound sense of divinely ordained meaning that now permeates your entire life. Their spiritual blindness, their profound self-absorption, and their hardened hearts prevent them from seeing or walking a path aligned with divine wisdom, leaving them hopelessly trapped in their own self-imposed prison of chaos, regret, and escalating despair. Your vibrant, purposeful life serves as a silent, yet immensely powerful testament to the transformative, liberating power of divine grace, powerfully highlighting the profound spiritual poverty and utter barrenness of their own tormented existence. Your purposeful path unfolds, blessed and guided, eternally beyond their reach, a testament to the disaster they designed for themselves, from which they truly cannot run. Flowing from the glorious revelation of your purposeful path revealed, guiding you into a blessed life within a divinely protected sanctuary, You now witness the radiant manifestation of your deepest truth. Your authentic light shines. This is the full unbridled flourishing of your genuine self, your divine essence radiating brightly, utterly untouched and forever untainted by the oppressive darkness they once attempted to cast over you. It marks the profound culmination of your transformative journey, a spiritual rebirth where your true strength, inherent resilience, and vibrant light are fully manifested, rendering the narcissist's desperate attempts at control utterly futile and inconsequential. For far too long, the narcissist meticulously sought to extinguish your inner light, to systematically diminish your profound sense of self, and to exert absolute control over your very essence. Their insidious manipulations, their relentless gaslighting, and their incessant, corrosive criticism were meticulously designed to convince you that your inherent power, your undeniable worth, and your fundamental identity were somehow inextricably tied to their fickle approval or their distorted narrative. You may have felt fragmented, profoundly lost, or that your true self was agonizingly hidden beneath countless layers of confusion, self-doubt, and immense pain. But through your courageous journey of profound liberation, your unwavering commitment to divine truth, and your consistent reliance on boundless divine grace, you have decisively reclaimed what was always inherently yours, an inherent, divinely sourced inner power and a radiant light that no external force can ever truly diminish, control, or extinguish. As Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 unequivocally declares, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them." You are created in the sacred image of the divine, possessing an inherent, unstoppable power and an authentic light that perfectly reflects the Creator's glory. This authentic light shines forth in myriad, often breathtaking ways, profoundly impacting every facet of your liberated existence. It manifests as a quiet, unshakable confidence that needs absolutely no external validation or fleeting applause, a deep, resonant knowing of your own inherent worth that cannot be swayed by lingering criticism, unfounded accusations, or superficial praise. Your joy becomes profoundly genuine, bubbling up spontaneously from an inexhaustible wellspring of inner peace. Rather than being precariously dependent on fleeting external circumstances or the conditional approval of others, you naturally attract healthy, profoundly reciprocal connections, relationships built firmly on mutual respect, deep empathy, unwavering integrity, and genuine understanding, because your authentic, radiant light effortlessly draws similar, high-vibrating souls towards you. Your inherent creativity flows effortlessly and abundantly. Your profound intuition becomes an increasingly reliable, unwavering guide, and your sense of divine purpose deepens with every conscious breath. You now live consistently from a place of unshakable inner peace, a calm, serene center that remains utterly undisturbed amidst any external storms, any lingering echoes of their chaos. This is the profound power of a spirit perfectly aligned with divine truth, radiating its authentic essence for all to see, a living testament to divine transformation. This light is intrinsically authentic and fundamentally untouched by their darkness, because its ultimate source is unequivocally divine and eternally internal, not external or precariously dependent on the narcissist's fickle approval or their attempts to dim it. It is not a power of fleeting control over others, but a profound power of ultimate self-mastery, a sovereign authority over your own thoughts, your deepest emotions, and your conscious responses. Every courageous step you take in unwavering authenticity, every sacred boundary you resolutely uphold, every deliberate act of self-love steadfastly strengthens this inherent inner light, making you even more impervious to external manipulation and resistant to any lingering shadows of their influence. It is a continuous, self-perpetuating, divine force that consistently grows stronger with each passing day as you walk more fully, more vibrantly in your liberated truth. As the Bible declares in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." This radiant, authentic light is precisely that divine strengthening, actively enabling you to live fully, fearlessly, and with profound purpose. The emergence and consistent radiance of this authentic light is the ultimate, undeniable counter to their desperate attempts at control and a source of profound, unparalleled spiritual satisfaction for you. The narcissist's entire fractured existence is fundamentally predicated on dominating others, on parasitically siphoning their precious energy, and on desperately maintaining an illusion of profound superiority. Your authentic light shines, with its inherent truth and liberating power, directly challenges their core dysfunction, exposing the hollowness of their false self. When they realize with agonizing clarity that they can no longer provoke you, cannot control your narrative, and cannot diminish your light, their own sense of profound powerlessness and deepening internal torment intensifies to unbearable levels. Your calm, unwavering presence, illuminated by divine truth, becomes an existential threat to their fragile, inflated ego, relentlessly highlighting their own profound emptiness, their spiritual barrenness, and their complete lack of genuine substance. They rage because they cannot comprehend a light that is profoundly sourced from within and from an unbreakable divine connection. A light that is inherently good, perpetually growing, and eternally untouchable by their pervasive darkness. Biblical themes consistently underscore this profound truth of your radiant emergence. You are divinely called to be light to the world. As Matthew chapter 5 verse 14 states, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Your authentic self, shining brilliantly and freely, can no longer be hidden or obscured by their desperate attempts to cast shadows or impose their darkness. The Spirit dwelling powerfully within you empowers this glorious light, granting you spiritual authority and profound discernment over the manipulative darkness they represent. You are now walking in the ultimate freedom for which spiritual truth has set you free. As Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 proclaims, "For freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery." This profound, divinely given freedom is the very source of your unstoppable power and your authentic light, ensuring you will never again submit to their manipulative yoke or their oppressive darkness. The narcissist, perpetually bound by their meticulously constructed false self and increasingly consumed by their own escalating darkness, cannot comprehend or stand against this authentic, divinely sourced light. Their entire world is one of control, fear, and superficiality. Your liberated world is one of profound freedom, divine love, and radiant authenticity. You're thriving. The undeniable, radiant glow of your true self is a living, breathing testament to the ultimate triumph of light over pervasive darkness. It ensures that while their internal torment deepens with every passing moment, your peace remains unshakable, Your divine purpose becomes clearer with each step, and your inner power, truly and eternally unstoppable, now shines forth untouched by their shadows, a beacon of profound, undeniable victory. From the radiant brilliance where your authentic light shines, illuminating your true self, utterly untouched by their darkness, you now stand in the glorious dawn of your victorious new reality. This is not merely about having survived. It is about embracing a life overflowing with profound joy, deep fulfillment, and an unshakable peace. A life that is completely, gloriously, and eternally beyond their reach. While the narcissist remains tragically trapped in their self-imposed chaos, haunted by their silent screams and consumed by the crushing weight of their karma, you are flourishing abundantly, a living, vibrant testament to the transformative power of divine grace. For a significant and often arduous period, your reality was meticulously shaped by their insidious manipulations, your precious peace held hostage by their fleeting whims, and your authentic joy overshadowed by their inherent, pervasive darkness. But now, through unwavering faith, courageous action, and profound spiritual healing, you have irrevocably transcended those oppressive limitations. Your victorious new reality is characterized by an intrinsic buoyancy, an undeniable lightness of being that allows you to experience genuine, unadulterated happiness in the simplest, most profound moments of your daily existence. You walk with an unshakable, crystal-clear sense of divine purpose, knowing with absolute certainty that your life is meticulously guided and perfectly aligned with a higher sacred calling. This is the abundant life promised in Scripture, as John chapter 10 verse 10 unequivocally declares, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." The narcissist, the insidious spiritual thief, relentlessly sought to rob you of your the very essence, to steal your joy, and to destroy your spirit. But now, through divine intervention, your profound resilience, and your courageous commitment to absolute truth, you are living life in its boundless fullness, rich with spiritual blessings, authentic purpose, and unadulterated, overflowing joy. The most liberating and empowering aspect of this triumphant new reality is its absolute inaccessibility to the narcissist. It is now completely beyond their reach. They cannot touch your profound peace because it is deeply sourced from within, flowing directly from your unbreakable connection to the divine, not from external circumstances they can manipulate or control. They cannot disrupt your divine purpose, because it is precisely ordained and firmly rooted in eternal spiritual truth, not precariously dependent on their approval, their fleeting attention, or their desperate need for control. Their futile attempts to hoover, to launch vicious smear campaigns, or to provoke a reaction from you will now fall utterly flat against the robust, divinely built spiritual and emotional walls you have meticulously constructed and resolutely maintained. You are now operating on a fundamentally different, incomparably higher spiritual plane, a vibrant, elevated vibration where their low-frequency chaos, their bitterness, and their escalating torment simply cannot penetrate your serene sphere. As Romans chapter 8 verse 37 powerfully states, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us." You are not just a survivor of past trauma. You are an undeniable conqueror, living victoriously over the forces that once sought to enslave your spirit, your mind, and your very essence. Embracing this triumphant new reality involves actively choosing to live authentically, fully and joyfully in every facet of your liberated being. It means speaking your truth with unwavering courage, knowing with absolute certainty that your voice is divinely empowered and can no longer be silenced by fear or intimidation. It involves intentionally nurturing genuine, deeply reciprocal relationships with individuals who truly see you, celebrate your true self, and resonate with your spiritual growth, forming profound connections built firmly on mutual respect, unconditional love, and genuine, uplifting understanding. From a place of profound wholeness, spiritual abundance, and unwavering wisdom, you are now powerfully able to serve others, pouring into the world the very love, profound insight, and boundless grace that have so miraculously transformed your own life. This outward expression of your divine purpose is a natural, effortless overflow of your healed and vibrant spirit, a profound testament to the deep spiritual maturity you have gained through enduring adversity. Every single day now becomes a glorious opportunity to celebrate your hard-won freedom, to give profound thanks for your profound liberation, and to savor the blessed, unshakable peace that now profoundly defines your sacred existence. Consider, for a moment, the stark and utterly undeniable contrast between your flourishing, purposeful life and the narcissist's diminishing, torment-filled existence. While you ascend daily into greater joy, deeper peace, and clearer purpose, they remain perpetually stagnant, increasingly consumed by their internal torment, their escalating rage, and the profound, agonizing emptiness within. Their future is a repetitive, self-perpetuating cycle of their own destructive patterns, constantly chasing fleeting supply but never, ever finding true, lasting satisfaction, genuine peace, or meaningful fulfillment. They are hopelessly trapped in the prison of their own making, unable to comprehend your blessed existence, your genuine happiness, or the profound sense of divinely ordained meaning that now permeates your entire life. Your vibrant, purposeful reality stands as a constant, unbearable mirror, relentlessly reflecting the stark barrenness and profound spiritual poverty of their own chosen darkness, further intensifying their silent screams and unequivocally confirming their ultimate, irreversible loss. This contrast is not accidental. It is a powerful demonstration of divine justice. The blessings of this triumphant, liberated living are truly immeasurable. An unshakable inner peace that cannot be disturbed, profound spiritual insight that guides your every step, unwavering confidence that stems from your divine worth, and a deep, abiding gratitude for the transformative journey you have so courageously undergone. This peace truly surpasses all human understanding, faithfully guarding your precious heart and your discerning mind against any lingering shadows, any subtle forms of chaos, or any external negativity. Philippians chapter 4 verse 7 promises this profound blessing, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This divine peace is your constant, unwavering companion, the very essence of your triumphant walk, a peace that is now securely and eternally yours, completely beyond the reach of any earthly or spiritual adversary. Your incredible journey from entanglement to liberation, from agonizing suffering to profound spiritual strength, and from debilitating chaos to serene calm is a profound, undeniable testament to boundless divine love, unwavering divine protection, and the ultimate glorious triumph of light over pervasive darkness. You have been definitively set free, and your life is now a radiant beacon of hope, resilience, and boundless possibility, powerfully demonstrating to all that even in the face of the deepest, most insidious darkness, God's pure, unwavering light always prevails. Live fully, live freely, and live victoriously, knowing with absolute certainty that you are walking in a purpose and peace that the narcissist, in their darkened world, can only ever rage against, but never, ever reach as the echoes of their silent screams gracefully fade into the comforting distance, and the relentless, haunting thoughts diminish in their power and frequency. A profound and pervasive serenity begins to settle gently upon your weary spirit. Imagine a gentle, warm, and cleansing breeze softly washing over you, effortlessly carrying away the very last vestiges of the storm you so bravely endured. The relentless pursuit of their fleeting attention, the agonizing dance of their manipulation, the heavy, crushing burden of their deceit, all of it now gracefully lies behind you, a distant, receding memory, slowly fading into the mists of a painful past. Picture yourself standing confidently on a vast, open plain, now beautifully bathed in the soft, golden light of a glorious dawn. The air is exquisitely fresh and remarkably clean, filled with the boundless promise of a vibrant new day. You are unencumbered, light of heart, gazing out at an endless horizon of new possibilities stretching before you. This is the quiet, profound reality of your truly liberated spirit. The battles were bravely fought, the chains were definitively broken, and now all that authentically remains is the profound, reassuring whisper of boundless divine love. You are never truly alone. A loving, all-encompassing presence surrounds you, gently guiding your every step, illuminating your sacred path, and faithfully guarding your precious peace. Rest deeply and securely in this undeniable truth. The beautiful work of healing continues, gently, patiently, and always meticulously guided by unseen, loving hands. Know with absolute certainty that you are eternally safe, you are profoundly loved, and your future is now beautifully bathed in a peace that miraculously transcends all human understanding. May your dreams be perpetually filled with this profound and lasting peace, and may every new morning bring a deeper, richer sense of freedom, boundless joy, and radiant light.